Hello, everyone. This is the Wrestling Analyst. My name is Luc Beaulieu. Um, Welcome to this second chronicle of mine. Today, I'm going to talk about women's wrestling. So here we go. So, women's wrestling. Where do I start? First of all, there was a real evolution since the 2000s, uh, led greatly by Trish Stratus, Lita, and somebody that doesn't get credit for it, but a bit she came a bit later, but Mickey James as well. Um, Lita, Trish, they put on great matches back then. The rivalry, and then at the rivalry between Mickey James and Trish, and Mickey James was a very good wrestler back then. She still is, by the way, and uh, those rivalries really put women's wrestling on the map right there. And then there was Trish's and Lita's main event on Raw, which really broke barriers right there. Then there was a time where women's wrestling had a dark age. Bra and panties match, pillow fights, name it, everything, uh, every gimmick match, mud wrestling, everything that would be detrimental to women's wrestling was there. That was dark ages of women's wrestling. But then there came the hashtag give divas a chance. And that's where it started changing again. Uh, Started changing again. Even though they're not the greatest wrestlers, but the Bella Twins. And then AJ Lee came in. And then there was NXT's contributions. NXT contributions, Paige. And then the Four Horsewomen. Paige, by the way, was the first women's champion in NXT ever. The Four Horsewomen, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Bailey. They changed the game. Right then, right there, a lot of times women's matches were better than men's matches on pay-per-views or premium live events like they call them now. Then uh, Triple H saw something there. Stephanie saw something there as well. And when they brought those, well, first of all, they brought Becky, Charlotte, and Sasha to the main roster first, and that was the women's revolution that started right there. Well, it was already started, but I mean, when those ladies came up to the main roster, like I said, a lot of times women's matches were better than men's matches, and it's not a knock on the men. I think the women that came up at that time with the matches they put on, they just pushed the guys to have better matches after that. Now, in 2017, there was the Mae Young Classic, the first Mae Young Classic, with Kairi Sane as the winner. Kairi, I miss those insane elbows that she was doing. It was one of the best, if not the best, elbow drop, top rope elbow drop in the business right now and maybe ever. It's just beautiful. Now, the Mae Young Classic in 2017. Look at all the women that this tournament gave us that are still there right now. Shayna Baszler, Bianca Belair, Candice LeRae, Kaylee Ray, now known as Alba Fire, Lacey Evans, Mia Yim, Piper Niven, now known as Doudrop, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez. She was known as Reina Gonzalez back then. Now she's known as Raquel Rodriguez. Sarah Logan, that's on her way back. Toni Storm, she's now in AEW, but she's one top performer. Xia Li, Dakota Kai, and even Tessa Blanchard was there that year. And there were rumors that they were trying to bring her back. I don't know if that's a good idea, but anyway. And then there was 2018, again with Toni Storm winning that edition. And that year we had, to name a few, again, Mia Yim was there again, Reina Gonzalez was there, Rhea Ripley was there again, Xia Li was there again. But new girls that were put in the 2018 tournament, Io Shirai, now known as Io Sky, Casey Catanzaro, Katana Chance, now tag team champions in NXT, Meiko Satomura, and Tegan Knox, which apparently her too would be on her way back to WWE. Another thing that contributed greatly to women's wrestling, especially in NXT, was the arrival of Asuka. Asuka's title reign in NXT was second to none. And I watched a lot of her matches back then. Matches against Ember Moon were freaking incredible. Ember Moon was at her best in NXT against Asuka, and then against Shayna Baszler, because Shayna had two title reigns down there, and Shayna at that time was a beast, was putting on four and a half, 5-star matches on every pay-per-view, every NXT takeover that she would be on. Now, NXT 2.0, the quality of women's wrestling is a little bit less there because they were more on developmental. But I see great potential down there right now. Just think about Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, Zoe Stark, Toxic Attraction. Toxic Attractions right now is the biggest thing going in NXT. And next week, Alba Fire is going to face Mandy Rose for the title in the last woman standing match. Now, again, two matches, two similar stipulation matches about 2 weeks apart. That's too bad, but anyway, that's WWE booking. Maybe that's the best way to settle that feud once and for all. And I'm going to make a prediction. I'm expecting Alba Fire to win the match, win the title, but you never know. Supposedly, Alba Fire took out Toxic Attraction, JC Jane, and Gigi Dolan. She took them out of the equation, but I wouldn't be surprised that they would interfere in the match anyway and maybe save Mandy's title. But what I see is Alba Fire winning the title and then Toxic Attraction getting the call up to the main roster. Now, so coming back to women's wrestling, the Raw and SmackDown women's title are prestigious, and they are being very well represented. Ronda Rousey is putting WWE's women's titles either Raw or SmackDown. Right now she has a SmackDown title, but she is giving them great exposure as champion because Ronda Rousey resonates with a lot of people outside of WWE. So, and Ronda, no knock on her, she's a very good performer, and she learned the wrestling style, the pro wrestling style, compared to the MMA very well in the short time she's been there. A couple of years ago when she came in, when she first came in. Now, what does the future hold for women's wrestling? I've seen a lot of speculation. Dana Brooke was talking about it. Um, and I've seen a lot of people starting to push for mid-card titles for women. And I'm all in on that. With all the women that are in the rosters right now, I haven't counted how many on each brand there are, but just look at the rosters right now on Raw. If you look quickly, you have Alexa Bliss, you have Asuka, you have Damage Control, you have Becky Lynch. Maybe that's going to be returning there. Who else do you have? Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae. So you have a whole, and I'm not even counting Dana Brooke. You have a whole plethora of of women on Raw, and on SmackDown the same thing. You have a lot of women there. Sarah Logan is coming back with the Viking Raiders. Raquel Rodriguez, then Xia Li, Lacey Evans, wherever she is. Last time we saw her, she was on SmackDown. Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey, and again, I'm not naming every one of them. I don't have the whole roster in front of me, but with all the women that are there right now, there would be room to have maybe uh, an intercontinental title for women, a U.S. title for women, or maybe I would go another direction completely, naming those titles something else. Maybe an America's title for women on Raw, or maybe an old world or European title for SmackDown, or North. Well, you have the North American title in NXT, but you know you know what I mean. Maybe not giving the same names, Intercontinental and the U.S. title as the men's, or maybe even a TV title. Why not? Raw TV title, women's TV title, or SmackDown's women's TV title, or which would be defended on TV, just like WCW used to do back in the days. Now, another thing, like I said, there's a lot of women in there. There's a lot of women down in NXT developing, and the more women that are going to be there, and the more coming back. Like I said, there's a lot of rumors going on with Tegan Knox, Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan is coming back. If you didn't know that she was the voice, the female voice in the Viking Raiders, yeah, that's Sarah Logan. Tegan Knox, like I said, and another woman that we don't see anymore in NXT, But that woman would be main roster ready right now would be Meiko Satomura. Uh, and Kaylee Ray eventually, and Toxic Attraction being ready to come up. You see that there's a lot of women going up, coming up in the main roster. Now, are they going to make SmackDown a 3-hour show as well? Maybe. But what I would see is maybe a reduction of the roster on each main shows, or keeping the rosters as stacked as they are right now. But maybe, and that's where I'm going right now, women could have their own program on the WWE network. Call it whatever you want, but um, no NXT, no gorgeous women's of wrestling, whatever. No, just give it a show that's gonna be showcasing women's wrestling. And if do what you want, but have women commentators, women announcer, women referees. You already have two. You have Jessica Carr. You have another one. Her name is escaping me right now. But you can have men referees in there. It doesn't matter, because there's not enough women's referee right now. But you know where I'm going. Uh, put the spotlight on the women on this, and have them have their own world title there too, a mid-card title, a tag team title, and really work a 2-hour show, kind of what they're doing with NXT, and I think that this is the next step in the women's wrestling revolution. Uh, would it draw a lot of attention? That's the only thing. Is the wrestling fan base ready for an all women wrestling show? I'm not quite sure right now. I know I am, and not because the girls are beautiful, because, like I said at the beginning, at almost the beginning of this video, a lot of time, and still now, on premium live events, the girls or the women are stealing the show 4 times out of 5. What was the best match on Crown Jewel? Yeah, Roman and Logan Paul. But you can give Bianca and Bayley, very good match. Asuka, Bliss, and Damage Control, very good. So every time on every premium live event, there's always, the women are always shining, because they're giving it their all. They want to prove themselves, and I think it would be time for women to have their own wrestling show, with booking, with put it on WWE Network, and there's probably going to be a network in each country that's going to want to carry that show. I know here in Canada, Sportsnet 360 is carrying Raw, is carrying SmackDown, and is carrying NXT on its programming. So maybe Sportsnet 360 would take a women's show. Call it whatever you want. I don't. The only thing, the only thing I'm asking is don't make it about beautiful women wrestling, but make it about women's wrestling. That's all I'm asking. If WWE is listening to this, is viewing this, do it. I think that's the next step in the women's wrestling revolution. So it's been a pleasure. I never thought I would talk about 20 minutes on that subject, but give me comments. Uh, tell me what you think. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. And about storylines currently going on, about why this result, why do I think this result gave this to a wrestler or whatever, or any opinion on this topic, I'd be happy to hear from you, to read and to hear from you. So if you like this video and like this kind of content, please leave a comment, subscribe, like, turn on notifications, and I'll try to make more content like this in the coming weeks when I get the inspiration. When I see a subject on Twitter, on Facebook, that's gonna be like, I don't know, maybe appealing to me to talk about it, I'll talk about it on the air. So have a nice evening, everyone. Uh, SmackDown is coming 2 days from now, so we'll look at that. During the weekend, I'm going to make my analysis video, and I'll see you then.